This is the Advanced Business Process Modeling and Analysis course, and I'm your instructor, Jim Reardon. In this module, I'll show you how to create a process mapping template that you can use for all your workflow process diagrams. While I agree that Microsoft Visio is more popular, I use Lucidchart instead. I won't go into detail here other than to say Lucidchart offers some features and functions that I prefer over Visio, especially when it comes to the ability to easily share files with my clients. The reason for using a diagramming template is for the sake of consistency. From a professional standpoint, whoever views your diagram will appreciate the fact that while the content within your diagrams differ from one to another, the format itself never changes. The elements in this template are the heading, the presentation hyperlink, the diagram legend, the swim lanes, and the BPMN elements and the data tables. Here's a look at the finished template and the Lucidchart layers I use in the creation of the template. The first thing I do is to set up the page settings. In the page section, I set the page size to tabloid, then set the format to landscape. Now let's look at each layer and I'll explain some details. The first layer is the heading layer. It is basically a table with a few dynamic fields inserted. The top cell is where the title of the process goes. It's a dynamic field that gets its value from the title you give to the Lucidchart document. In fact, all the cells in the table use dynamic fields. One more heading element I use is the current future state cell. As you can see here, I show that this is a current state diagram, and I use a yellow color fill for the current state. If the diagram is a future state diagram, then I'll replace the word current with the word future, then change the fill to a blue color. To the right of the heading table, I usually place my company logo. The legend has its own layer as well. I create the legend separately in another Lucidchart diagram, then export it as a JPEG file. Then I insert that image into the Lucidchart template diagram. Just like the heading and the legend, I give swim lanes its own separate layer. To set up the outside entity swim lane, I get the element from the containers shape group. Then, to set up the process pool swim lanes, I get that element from the BPMN shape group. For the tables layer, I simply copy those from another Lucidchart file, then paste them into my template file. And that's it. When it's time to use the template to draw a diagram, I simply create a duplicate of the template and rename it to the name of the process I'm diagramming.